Hello, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube and the World Wide Web. This is the Middle Eastern Atheist coming to you straight from Sweden, Gothenburg. This particular video that I'm going to be sharing with you guys later today has been kind of difficult because of the way that I see the whole situation. I tried twice before this to record this video and share my thoughts on this matter and the whole situation. Two times, both of them I was out in the streets, and I recorded it twice, and each time it was like after like 5 hours from the first time that I tried to record it, and each time I had new information. And at the end of the day, I couldn't do it because of the fact that it wasn't easy. It's a difficult subject because emotions that are prevalent and visible and obvious, they are not something that you can easily judge them or easily ignore them. They are there, and they are there rightly. So Donald Trump won the presidential election of United States of America, and it was a phenomenon that I wasn't surprised by. And I have seen some other people that do agree with me that it's not something to be surprised over, but something that I didn't expect. Now I'm gonna explain to you why later on, but I wasn't surprised by it, but still it wasn't something that I expected to happen. And immediately after I woke up, was it the 9th, right? Was it the 10th? It was the 9th, right? Morning of 9th of November, and woke up. I had forgotten about checking my Facebook and seeing who had won the election, because I remember I was awake up till I believe it was like 7-8 p.m. Eastern time, East Coast time, I believe. And by that time the polls had been closed, and they had started to count the votes, and already at that point you could see that Donald Trump was ahead by 24 points, 24-3. And at that point I said to myself, it's gonna be a funny day tomorrow, the funniest day in the history of mankind, when I wake up and suddenly I realize Donald Trump is actually the president of the United States of America, because it's just such a surrealistic feeling, an event that you do not expect. You know, it's not a first time thing for USA. We have had celebrities that have been in the position of power before: Reagan, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and now Donald Trump. And there have been other people before that too, if I'm not wrong. We have had pro wrestlers in a position of power, right? So it's not something uncommon. And I'm not saying that a pro wrestler is something inferior. Actually, no, I'm not. But so it's not something that is completely unheard of, but still, it's still pretty funny. I don't know if you agree with me or not, but I find it to be really funny. So I woke up, didn't check my email. I mean, not my email, my Facebook, Twitter, anything. I had something else to do. I wasn't going to be able to check that. I did my stuff and then I walked out. And right when I come out, there's this little shop, newspaper place that sells newspaper and stuff like that. And the first thing that you see that I saw when I walked out and I was going to walk past it, I was going to just walk past it and like go up the stairs to get my tram. The first thing that I saw was these first pages that were like behind these glass shields, and it was like presidential election shock, and then another one was USA shocks the world or something like that. And like the fourth one was like something that you could actually understand what has really happened, and it was like Trump shocked the world, and I was like, oh my god, they actually did it. He is actually a president of United States of America, a president elect by this time. By December, he will probably be elected president by the Electoral College. And I thought to myself, wow. First thing first was that I wanted to know how it ended, how the election ended. So I swiped open my phone, and I looked. I had the page open on my tab, the Google page, since I had checked it on my phone last night, and I refreshed it and I saw that he was so close. And I was like, almost 50% of the people that voted for Trump. Around 2% voted for Johnson. There wasn't any numbers on Stein. Poor woman. And the rest had voted for Hillary. And at that time, I didn't know the rest of the stats. I didn't know, for example, that almost 50% of the people that were eligible to vote didn't vote. And that's a lot. Over 200 million people were eligible to vote last election. Of this, over 247% didn't vote. But of the rest of the 50%, 25% of them voted for Hillary, 25% voted for Trump. Trump won through Electoral College, which is the system which I think is a pretty good system for United States of America. I'll probably explain that in another video, maybe here, I don't know. We'll see how it will go. And one of the things that came up to my mind was that 25% of these people, probably more than 50 million people, voted for somebody that denies global warming. And that has been always my problem with Trump. I don't have a problem with his rhetoric when it comes to screening the immigrants. I think that's the perfect system because we have that system here in Europe. We don't let the illegal immigrants to work because that's just perfect normal. One of the reasons is that many of the people that do give these people work, they're literally giving them slave labor. Literally. Conditions that are horrible. Dangerous. Payments that are far, far below minimum wage. And one of the reasons that they control the whole thing is that they want to stop these people that actually endanger other people's lives. But no. To some leftists, to some liberals, this idea is something that is anti-immigrants or racist. That's far from that. Hear from me. I have been an illegal immigrant. I know this shit all too well. So I don't understand how it is a big problem, whatever. My biggest problem with him was his whole fucking anti-science rhetoric. Which, I don't know if he really believes in that or not, because in the past few days, he has been flip-flopping and media hasn't been skewing his words as much as they did before the election. And the fact is that if you actually listen to his entire speeches, you will realize that he's not as crazy as the world wants you to think he is. He's pretty stupid in some stuff that he says, but mostly he's really rational. Just amazing to me at how people in this day and age that we have all the information in the world at our fingertips still cannot search and find out the truth about the person that they want to talk about, right? So that's something that I find really amazing. But let's move on. So the first thing that hit me was that over 50 million people have voted for this guy. And then I started to think, why? And it was just apparent. And I'm gonna get to the point that I said why I didn't believe that this will happen. I wasn't surprised, but I didn't expect it. Why? Because of Hillary Clinton and the DNC and the RNC. We all know that RNC is against this dude, right? So that's something to take into consideration. And then we have the DNC and Hillary Clinton. Two entities, one a person, one an organization, that cheated the most popular Democrat candidate out of the candidacy race through all possible ways they could find, and they cheated this person out. And we have also Hillary. On top of all this is a person that we have documented proof of her being a pandering, lying person. We know that she flip-flops as soon as she realizes that there's something that she can win. She didn't support gays. She didn't give a damn about them. She didn't support black people. She didn't give a damn about them. Not until she needed to get into the office. 2007, 2006, when she started to campaign for presidency. That's when she started to flip-flop, flip-flop, flip-flop. And we all know that she is a corporate puppet. I'm not saying that Trump is not a corporate puppet. In my opinion, the whole system creates these puppets, and if somebody really wants to make a change, it's gonna be almost impossible. Because the system needs to change for a real change to happen. But we all know that she's a corporate puppet, and this generation right now doesn't want that. We don't want that. The old generation is tired of it. This generation is tired of it. I'm not disregarding anything that Obama has done, but the fact is that the people that voted for Obama, many of them from the Republican states, if you go back and check out the stats from 2 terms of Obama, many of those states that have turned to vote for Trump, many of those states voted for Obama. He won by popular election and electoral college. He was given the trust. And he did some stuff. He wasn't completely horrible, but people obviously think that it wasn't enough, right? Many of those people have turned out to vote for Trump. Many of them also didn't vote at all. Why is that? Why is that? Because of the fact that the system has created these people that do not believe in it anymore, right? I do not believe in that system. I do not believe in the system that we have here right now. It's much better, in my opinion, but I believe that there is a change needed. This system has created these people that are disheartened, disgruntled. They don't believe in their leaders anymore. That's why somebody like Sanders is so popular in a country that calling somebody socialist is equal to ruining his career. Sanders was massively popular by all generations. Because people wanted change. But when the outcry is so big that even your lying, pandering, cheating, warping, skewing, propaganda spreading, all of those doesn't help. That's when it explodes in your face. And I don't know how DNC didn't see that. They knew it. They knew it. The moment that they declared Hillary the candidate, they knew that it's gonna explode in their face. There were several polls, several studies that showed Sanders voters will not, in majority, will not vote for Hillary. Most of them wouldn't vote for Hillary. Many of them wouldn't vote for Trump either. They would either not vote at all or vote third party. They knew that. They knew that when they cheated Bernie Sanders out of the race. And then they expect some kind of miracle happens, right? Every time that a poll came out and showed that Hillary Clinton is losing to Trump, they brought out some new found evidence against Trump to try to make Hillary as popular as possible, you know? And people voted Hillary because, oh, she's better than Trump. I don't necessarily don't think that. So, yeah. It literally exploded in the face. People were clear about it. They wanted change, and they voted for change. This situation, as I said, is not ideal because as a person that finds Trump to being an anti-science person, I really don't want to say that I'm happy with this situation, but in one part of my mind is actually happy. Because change will happen. Real change will happen. There are two ways about it. Either Trump will actually be a good president. Who knows? In the past few days, he hasn't been completely crazy. And even before that, he wasn't super crazy. He was just kind of cuckoo, kind of. Most of the things that he said just sound normal to me. There are things that are implemented in all around the world. Fun fact, if you're going to Canada, there will be a really harsh immigration system. It takes a long ass time. If you're going to Europe, the same thing. If you're going to Asia, the same thing. But yeah, so basically, most of the things that he said, most of them, not all of them, were really normal stuff. Normal stuff taken out of context by pages like Huffington Post. Now this election, A plus something, I don't know what's the name. All of these BuzzFeed, all these Satan spawns of internet. We fled from mainstream media because we didn't want to be fed the same stuff that the government approves of all the time. We fled from mainstream media to these outlets, and these outlets have become worse monsters. Far worse than any Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, or any other channel on TV that you can find, or newspaper. They have become worse. Lying, skewing, editing, just spreading propaganda. There are conservative ones too, right? I'm not saying that all are just leftists. No. And you know why 50% of the people didn't vote? Or you know why people that could vote voted for Trump? Because people want change. Those that didn't vote really, really, really don't believe in the system anymore. They want real change. And that's how it happens. These two parties, come next election, they have to think of a way to bring back these people. 50% of the eligible voting population didn't vote. That is 50% disapproval rating. That's how you see it. There's no other way to see it. There's no other way to see it. That's how it is. That's why every single election, when you talk to somebody that is actually against the system, they will tell you, if you have a problem, you do not vote. That is a way to show that you actually have a problem. Because if you really don't believe in the system, if you really think that the system needs to change, you do not vote. So by that point, they had two choices. Either pick an anti-establishment guy, Trump, because we didn't get Sanders, or don't vote at all. Because voting Hillary is not change. And if you're gonna say no, voting Trump is not fighting the establishment, it is in its entirety fighting the establishment. The idea of having Trump as president is fighting the establishment. Because let's be honest, many of the people that voted for Trump are not fans of McCain or Bush or Reagan. No, not even Reagan. They are tired of all of this. Because even though people like you to believe that people are either Democrats or Republicans, that's not how it works. People live with a government for 4 years or 8 years, and they see how it has benefited them, and they see how the other party is going to benefit them, and they vote that way. They don't just vote Democrats every single time because, hey, I'm a Democrat. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it has ever worked. If you honestly believe in something, you will vote that way. Unless you truly feel like you have no other choice. And many people voting for Hillary didn't feel that they have any other choice. They felt like, oh, Trump is going to be horrible. Maybe he's going to be horrible. Who knows? But they voted for her because of the fact that they didn't want Trump as president. Well, it exploded in their face too. Hillary and his side were so blind. Her campaign was so blind that she didn't even have a speech for when she loses. Can you even imagine that? She had to go away. Nobody would be able to talk to her for a while. They could fix up a speech for her. It's amazing when you think about it, at how DNC and the establishment just got punked by the population that they were clear about it. The outcry was clear. And it's just amazing, the hypocrisy, that I'm seeing all over the board from both the conservatives and the liberals. Remember, liberals were saying no matter the outcome, the other side should respect it, right? It was especially at the time that the controversy had started about how Hillary and BNC had cheated everyone, how they have been spreading lies. And at that time, the conservatives were like, there are some conservatives saying like, we're gonna stage a armed rebellion if Trump loses, right? Those nut jobs at his rallies. And now, when the election has come to an end, the liberals, they are staging riots. Not protests. No. Not protesting. Not staging a peaceful march. Nothing like that. No sittings. No. Riots. And now the conservatives are like, oh, you should respect the outcome. Fucking hypocrites, both sides. Grow up, people. Grow up. But the thing is that the outcome of this election may very well change our world. For the better or for the worse. Trump, by this time, has talked about, or his side are talking about, having Ben Carson as their Minister for Education, if I'm not wrong. And that's sad, because Ben Carson, he is a New Earth creationist. Holy shit. Oh my god. That's the only problem that I have with this whole situation. Otherwise, I think that people should actually wait and see what Trump actually does. Because tolerance is something that the left is supposed to be well known for, right? And it's not. It's not what is happening right now. It's not tolerance. This whole situation is on the left. With increasing absence of tolerance. Left has created the situation that people would vote for Trump. If you don't believe me, just look at the world we live in. Look at the world we live in, where a person that is a scientist, for God's sake, it still baffles me. A scientist that has done some amazing stuff comes in front of camera, and then he's wearing a shirt that is anime girls. He's a geek, like me. And the internet explodes in his face when he's a fucking sexist pig. Holy shit. And people find it completely okay for him to come on TV in front of camera and cry and apologize for wearing a fucking shirt. I am a Middle Eastern person. I come from Middle Eastern societies. And only if I was to talk about the horrible place that a woman has in any of the Middle Eastern societies, if I was to talk about it, maybe then I wouldn't be called a racist. That's how bad the situation has gotten. That if you talk about the fact that the religion is filled with hatred, you will be called a racist. Not somebody that's not an skeptist. No. Not an atheist. You're a racist. Because you're pointing out the fact that a fucking book from 1400 years ago is filled with hatred. That's the situation we're living in. That's the world we're living in. A world that a thin person looks into my face and says, you as a fat person are okay. You're healthy as is. And being fat is completely fine. And even though I'm telling her that me as a fat person, as an overweight person, I am feeling the fact that being overweight is bad for my health, she will ignore it because you're not supposed to body shame. The very fact that we have a fat acceptance movement is all that you need to know. The very fact that if you even imply that a person is overweight is not healthy and get fucking lynched because of it, it shows that what kind of a world we are living in. The left used to fight for real things. Women's right, gays' right, trans people's right, the right of the minorities, the right of the freedom of religion, freedom from religion, and freedom to practice religion, freedom to the right to have freedom to think, the right to have the right to express yourself freely. All gone. They're not fighting for women's right. Not anymore. Because if you are somebody that fucking points out the problems of Middle Eastern societies, Islamic societies, they will fucking kill you. They don't care about the right of the gays and the trans people, because if you point out the fact that the gays and the trans people are killed in those very societies, they will fucking kill you, ruin your career. The biggest trend out there right now is that, oh, this person disagrees with me. This person thinks that whatever that I don't like her think. So hey guys, let's send her employer some emails and make her lose her job. That is how fucking petty the whole fucking left movement has become. And then they wonder why people are voting Trump. Why people are voting for fucking Brexit. That is a fucking disaster. It is their way of saying, we're done. We're tired. And the whole world has gone batshit crazy. We had come this close to total tolerance. For God's sake, we have people like Richard Dawkins and Christopher Hitchens doing debate with Muslims and creationists. And it was all fine. And then suddenly something snapped. Something happened. What? I don't know. But I know that it led to Trump being president. I really hope that Trump doesn't mess up for the scientific communities. I really hope that Brexit doesn't mess up for scientific communities, although we already know that Brexit has messed up for the scientific communities of UK. Their budget already cut. So, why are we supposed to be surprised? This is the world we're living in. We have created this situation when we allow our celebrities to harass our scientific free thinkers and call them bigot, racist, Islamophobes. We have created this situation. And the few sane people left on the left, liberal, libertarian, or middle, are just fighting. They're fighting with everything they have got. But is it going to change anything? I doubt it. I honestly doubt it. You know why? Because in the wake of the election results, they're not preaching acceptance or tolerance. No. They're preaching hate. Our celebrities are preaching hate too. Jennifer Lawrence tweets, "Let this enrage you." Not make you think about the results and why it went that way. No, let this enrage you. People on the streets of United States of America are attacking each other just because of the fact that they have voted for the other candidate. There are several videos, several articles, several police reports from both sides. If you people think that through this we'll get anywhere, that through this we will get people on our sides or on your side, not on our side, I'm definitely not on your side, then you are delusional. You're not gonna get people on your side. No. You're just gonna get people away from you. I'm not saying that he's gonna be a bad president. As I said, we don't know. But the fact that the world was trying to bury this guy and skew and warp his words to the point that if you didn't watch his full speeches, you would honestly think that he's Hitler born anew. To that point, and still he got elected. It just shows that nothing is going to change as long as the left is this miserable political side that cannot show an ounce of tolerance. An ounce. Not much. Just this much. Just this level. It's up to you guys. You are the ones that should decide. Are we going to keep on having this, or this was Middle Eastern Atheist.